Today we're going to be fixing a Bobcat controller base with part number 6691431. The issue the customer was experiencing was that some of the keypad, the buttons were not working. If I power it on, okay, I have 0 amps draw. If I press the lights, it does activate it. Normally I'm supposed to press the start or stop button, but none of these buttons are indeed reacting. So we're going to go ahead and open it up and see what's going on inside. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Nick. I started Nick's Electronics Repair over a decade ago, and since then have fixed over 100 of these Bobcat controller units. Okay, and I can immediately see damage. If we look at our ribbon over here, it is completely burnt. In fact, it looks like maybe one of the pins is completely missing and gone at the very end. And it's quite potent. I can smell quite a bit of burning smell, of course. All right, so we'll disconnect the lights here. That comes right off. But yeah, I mean, I'm missing an entire chunk here of the connector, and we have to remove this one over here. So this one is working. And taking a look at the front side, I'm not seeing any damage on this side. So it looks like it's isolated just to this connector over here. And I can see, yeah. All right, let's switch over to the microscope so we can take a closer look at the damage. If we look at it from an angle, we can see one of the pins is just completely detached from the ribbon and stays stuck. I can't remove it, so it's somewhat fused, I think, to the actual pin connector here. And of course, this last one over here is just missing. So I have scavenged off of a couple donor boards some different types of connectors that we might be able to use and replace because I don't have a spare one of these connectors, and we're obviously going to need it since we're missing a pin over here at the end. I think my first step is to remove the existing connector that's damaged. And I just ripped the trace a little bit. That's okay. So I wanted to cut out the end over here with all the damage and try to remove it separately because I fear it might be fused. Okay, that was actually not bad at all. Let's desolder some of that excess solder I just added. Okay, we're actually in really good shape. Now my only concern and or question is whether or not, yeah, we ripped the trace on that side. I think we did. So it does look like our trace was supposed to connect right here. And so we're gonna try and push it back and we'll connect that all together here in a moment. I'm curious if there is, yeah, and there is continuity. So even with it not connected, there is continuity. So technically that means we don't necessarily need to reconnect it since it is already connected technically via a different path. But we'll probably solder it down there in order to reinforce the joints or the pad. So this is our replacement. And I'm thinking, so this is our second to last. What if I poke it through? Can I? Yes, I can. So I can remove this. And could I do the same with our very last one? I think so as well. This is actually going to make it a lot easier if I can. If you have a defective Bobcat controller base that you would like to send in for us to fix, we do offer the flat rate services, which come with a 1-year warranty, and those are available on our website, which I will link in the video description down below. I'm trying to do this so that you can still see it on camera as well. I just need to cut a little bit higher this way to give me a little more flexibility. And now, there we go. All right, so it's very difficult to show while doing, but this is our connector. These are our two loose pins. And this connector is going to bend over this way. So I should be able to sneak this pin over and solder it down directly right here and still have plenty of room. And then this next one should be able to go one row over. So let me see. Maybe I cut this up just a little more. And we're just going to cut all the way down. Okay, yeah, so this pin's going to connect right there. We said for reinforcement, we were going to grind away a little bit right there. Some of the trace. And we'll add just a little bit of solder to reinforce it. There we go. I'm going to put flux on both sides. And we're going to add some solder to it. Again, both sides. Now both our pad and the pin are tinned. And we're going to solder it directly down. Perfect. And this is our next trace. It goes directly to this capacitor. And I didn't need to necessarily grind that away. I just wanted to extend the area that I can solder to because I have a lot of plastic in the way. And I want to make sure that I increase the chances of getting it right the first time. If we look at it from the other side, well, that's tough because, again, the plastic is in the way, but the trace starts over here. And I have two metal pads right here and over here that I want to avoid making contact with. So I just need to make sure that my metal pin is far forward enough that it won't. I might actually have to cut this because it's too long. So I'm going to cut it right here. That'll be right in half. Same as before, we're going to add some flux. Solder to both sides. There we go. It's locked in. And I just want to make sure, because if we look at an angle here, we have a little trace right there. I want to make sure it's not shorted. And it looks like it could be. Is it because perhaps I was making incidental contact? That's unclear. Let's try again. Actually, if I go from here, which is the pad, if we follow the trace, it goes to right here. And no, so I don't have a short. All right, so now that we have the buttons soldered in and installed, we're going to go ahead and prep our shell. So we need to remove the originals. What I'm going to do is use my hot air station to melt a little bit of the adhesive on the original button assembly. Don't want to go too hot. We don't want to melt plastic. Okay, I think that's going to be enough. I can actually start seeing it bubble a little bit. It might have been a little longer than I should have. And using my X-Acto blade, I can get right underneath. And we're peeling that off. And we have the second layer. I'm peeling that off. And that pulls through. So inside here we have our lights and then our buttons, and in between, let's see, oh no, it's on this side, we have a thin layer of plastic. So we're going to separate that from it because we're going to want to reuse it for our replacement buttons. There we go. Put that to the side. This can get tossed out. I'll feed my replacement buttons through. Just be very gentle. Try and line all of this back up. All right. There we go. So we're not going to commit to full install right now. We're going to plug the unit back in, do a quick test. Power on the unit. It seems off, but if I press the start button, 4, 3, 3, 3. There we go. Okay, I was entering the wrong code. But now it seems to be working. I can press stop, start, lock, unlock. All right. Our lights are working, hours, RPMs, jobs working. The hydraulic, we're not going to see it on screen. Let's see. All right. So that does look like it is fixed. Let's go ahead and power it down. We'll unplug the unit and finish the installation of the buttons. Actually, before we lock this guy in, I'm going to remove our 3-button assembly. And what we're going to do is we're going to put brand new ones. If this first assembly started failing, then the other one is probably could fail soon. I can also see it's protruding in certain areas. So the plastic is starting to weaken a little bit. It's very likely that it might fail or have holes, which could then allow moisture to get into the system. So we're going to go ahead and replace it with a new one to prevent that. And then I'm also noticing similarly over here on this decal, we have 2 holes. This is getting pretty weak. Like me just pressing on it, I can hear it crack. So it's going to break eventually. So we're going to go ahead and replace that too. So we'll remove this piece of plastic. Yeah, as you can see, we actually already have holes right here. It's hard to tell, but right there, we have a hole poking through to the other side. You can see my tool, and then another one right here. So this shell is definitely already compromised. There we go. Again, same principle. We're going to go ahead and give this a clean. This one's actually extra dirty. Now for this one, we don't have to be as perfect as for the stickers, and that's because we're going to be adding our own gasket, and that's going to help really seal it. So I already have a pre-cut piece of glass. I have a sticker. Now all of these stickers and buttons and whatnot that we use, they are weatherproofed. Next we're going to put our layer of gasket. Put a little bit more on the corner there. All right, we should be able to then place our piece. Oh no. Okay, it's very snug. Putting a lot of pressure on there to make sure it's all the way in. And then on the front, we're going to see that there's a bead of that excess gasket is popping out. So that means I put more than I should have. That's all right. We're just going to remove that right away. But that does also confirm that we have a good seal. All right, and then we're going to get the rest with a Kimtech wipe and some isopropyl alcohol. Nice and clean. And now we can go ahead and feed our last set of buttons through. I'm going to place my shell on top. There we go. So that we can flip it over and not put unwanted pressure onto the connector. And sure enough, we just got some dust and impurities from our work. So we'll just blow all that off. Put our plastic there. Oh, that's beautiful. Perfect. Look at that. That looks a lot better. All right, let's go ahead and put our screws back in. Make sure all sides are nice and snug. All right, and let's look at the front again. So I did think this might happen, which is as I tighten the back shell, a tiny little bit more gasket just popped out. So we're gonna have to do a second round of cleaning here because it pressed the acrylic glass we installed tighter against the shell. All right, that's gonna be our final product. So we're gonna plug the unit back in one more time. Gonna give it power. Press the start button. Okay, enter code. And look at that. Beautiful. All of our buttons are working. Press and hold for codes. I don't have all of my sensors, so of course it's going to trigger some of the codes. But it looks like everything is working as it should. Go ahead and our start button is working. Our stop button is working. Our lock button is working. Unlock. So that does it. We have a successful repair. If you found the video helpful or useful, make sure to leave us a like, subscribe for more content, and thank you for watching.